Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Hello, and welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. I am so glad you're joining me today. You guys, I was just outside a couple hours ago, had a little gap in my appointments and ran outside to feed our cows. And I couldn't help but look up at the sky. You guys, I have never in so long, I mean, I'm talking years, seen a sky so blue. Like, is it just me? Or are you seeing this as well? Like, I've seen all the chatter online where people are like, and I mentioned it yesterday, I think, about the chemtrails and the stuff, whatever, if it's cloud seeding or what, we don't exactly 100% know what it is. We got a lot of guesses though, right? But I like to stick to facts, okay? I like to stick to facts and things that I can prove. And my eyeballs don't lie because there isn't a trace of anything white in the sky. Like, there's not a cloud in sight, and it's been that way in the afternoon here in northern Colorado, like this entire week. I've forgotten how used to I have gotten, I guess, about, just kind of accepting the haziness in the sky that we do get periodically. We get like solid blue skies, but for the most part, we've got like a lot of haze and stuff in the skies around here. And I was just standing out there and I thought, is it me? Like, is it psychological? Like, because I'm looking for it? Is it something I'm seeing? You know what I'm saying? When you kind of second guess yourself, because I mean, let's face it, we're all a bunch of like battered wives at this point because of our government's gaslighting and the corporate gangster gaslighting that we're subjected to all the time. You start to question your sanity. You don't want to be like the type of person that's like, just like, oh yeah, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. It's conspiracy. You don't want to be like that, right? You got to keep your sanity about you. You can't just jump over to the conspiracy side all the time. So I always question myself. I'm like, wait a minute here. But like, put it in the chat if you've noticed it in your area, please. Because I swear, this has been such a vibrant week. And I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I want to share with you a little piece of nature and the blessings that are around me. I'm living in northern Colorado. Jason and I ran errands yesterday after the show, and take a look at this guy. Just take a look at him. Right in downtown Loveland, Colorado. This guy's just moseying along, you guys. All the traffic is stopping, rightfully so, because this is his house. We're on loan here with our cars and all our stuff, but this guy owns the town here, and all the cars were stopping as he was just showcasing himself through Loveland. And man, when I see these animals like that, I mean, I'm so blessed to have my cattle here at my homestead, and I love them, and I love looking. And I also have a llama too, which I never talk about really. I never talk about my llama, Kyle. I have a llama. His name is Kyle. He's magnificent. He's just got the best eyes you've ever seen in your life. And when you connect to them, you're going to be okay for some reason. He's just magnificent. But anyway, I'm so lucky and blessed to be able to have these animals on my property. But when I see somebody different, this guy, I'm reminded just still, again, like how much I don't get to experience on a daily basis, but is here on the planet, and it brings you back right down to just kind of how small you are, just how kind of insignificant you are, because he don't care. He does not care. You're going to slow your car or it will be slowed. You better pull over or, you're going to have an encounter you wish you didn't have. I just love that about nature. Today, I've got a great show for you. The daily topic today, I'm talking, if you haven't noticed by now, at the beginning of the show, I'm always trying to talk about culture and what's shaping our culture in our world today, who's shaping it, what topics. And I always try to bring some common sense to the topic. And today's topic I want to talk about is root cause. I want to talk about root cause. And the reason why, I'm going to share a couple clips with you here, because I think we've accepted somehow the remedy, the solution as commonplace, right? Like, oh yeah, so-and-so had to go for IVF. Of course, that's just something you got to do every day. It's become normal. And I'm here to tell you it's not. It's not normal. So we got to pull it back a little bit. Check out this clip. This is from a recent, I think it's today. I believe it's today. Admittedly, I'm a little unplugged from the news today. It was a very, very busy week. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's from today or maybe yesterday. And this is from a press conference with Trump and Bobby Kennedy and Dr. Oz. Take a listen.
When my uncle was president, the fertility rate in this country was 3.5%. Today, it is 1.6%. The replacement rate, in other words, the amount of fertility that you need in order to keep your population even, is 2.1%. We are below replacement right now. That is a national security threat to our country. And we know why this is happening. And President Trump is addressing the root causes through his MAHA agenda of reducing endocrine disruptors, the exposure to chemicals that decrease fertility.
I love this because he's doing twofold here. They're addressing the immediate problem, right? They're addressing the immediate, and in the second clip, you'll see a little bit more about what they're doing. So President Trump is going to be supporting IVF. He's going to be helping lower the cost of IVF for many people. It's unattainable. It's too expensive. And insurances don't cover it, or they cover part of it. I mean, it's so gross because the very companies, as I talk about here all the time, the megacorp, right? The BlackRocks, the State Street, the Vanguard, the megacorp, they basically own everything, right? So they're owning the pharmaceuticals, they're owning all the plastics that's causing the problem, they're creating a lot of the toxicity that's causing the problem. And then the solution is behind the health insurance companies, which they're also involved in, and they won't fund the IVF here. So depends on what your coverage is and all that stuff. But for the most part, it's not attainable for couples who are not able to conceive. So they're going to help fund that, lower that price down a little bit for IVF, which is great. And they're going to address root cause as well. Now, is it happening as fast as I would like? No. But as you'll see in the full press conference, if you happen to come across it, we are not producing babies at a rate that will sustain our existence on the planet. And that's a little scary. You've heard Elon Musk talk about this. And he's saying, have babies. And there is a movement from the conservative, the conservative group in general, to have babies. Meanwhile, on the death cult side, because there's definitely a death cult side, they don't want you to have babies. They want you to be a boss babe and stay focused on your career so you don't have babies. And maybe you'll never find out that you're actually infertile if you don't try to have babies. There was a recent story in the news about Jennifer Aniston, popular actress. If you don't stay up on the mainstream stuff, she was from a show called Friends. She gained huge popularity from that show, Friends. And then, of course, she's been in tons of movies or whatever. Most people know her. But some of my audience don't watch TV and they don't watch movies. So I always feel like I should fill that in. Anyway, she came out. There was a story about her. She's like 56 and she has no kids and clearly focused on her career. And she has apparently some infertility issues. You're 56. Yeah, 56. You're done. You're done, right? But the culture we live in, I call them the death cult, because everything they promote, it leads to death. It leads to faster death. Don't worry about what you eat or whatever. Just listen to the experts. Death cult. Go to work. Don't stay home and raise babies. Death cult. You don't like your gender? No problem. Just chop off your genitals. Death cult. That the research shows that a procedure like that actually leads to higher rates of suicide. You don't like the way your life is, if you're in Canada, there's medical assistance in dying. So if you don't like the way your life is, it's not just for terminally ill people. If you can't afford your rent, if you feel like you're struggling and you just can't make it financially, can't find a place to live, don't worry, death cult. Abortion is a right. You can have 20 of them. Death cult. I mean, everything they stand for, they promote, these people, it's a death cult. It's anti-human. Don't like who you are in person, in reality? No problem. Be a fake person online. Use AI because you're not good enough. No problem. You don't feel good enough. Just adopt this fake avatar and function through your fake avatar. Do you see what's happening here? It is the severing between you and nature. They have to sever you from nature because your connection to nature is so incredibly powerful. You just might remember who you are and what you're capable of. That won't work for the death cult. You'll stop buying into the things that kill you, and that means less profits for them. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. So glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Am I left? Am I right? I'm anti-death cult. That's what I am. I'm anti-death cult and I'm pro-human. Did you know that Naturally Inspired Radio is now streaming on 100 plus video podcasts and social media platforms? Just search your favorite platform for my name, Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, or Naturally Inspired Radio, because we're everywhere that you listen, watch, and connect. Help us grow our Odyssey channel. You can go to Odyssey or BitChute or even Rumble, any of the channels, okay? And when you search in Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, our channel will come up. I am begging you, please. I want to keep doing this work, but it is a struggle out here. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a real struggle. Today I had a meeting with my business partner, AKA my husband, and he's like, I don't know anybody that's more censored than you. And he's not saying that to discourage me. He's saying that because it's just incredible. He'll go in and he'll watch my video on YouTube. So he, on a different, from his own YouTube, he'll go and he'll watch it. And then he'll go back and he'll check the video and it still says 0 views. He'll comment on it. And it's just insane, you guys. They don't want you to have this information. They do not. And when I say they, I mean the algorithms at this point. Do I think that there's like a Mr. Burns out there like monitoring Tammy Cuthbert Garcia? No. But I have a very difficult time speaking filtered. Like, I don't say words like unalive because they're stupid, right? I say death cult. Guess what? You can't say death online. You know what I mean? The algorithm goes, don't say that. Bury it. I say things like vaccine. I'm not going to sit here and say all of them right now because that'll really tank this. But you get my point. It's very difficult to just speak freely in today's world. So we rely on you to share the show, and we rely on you to comment on it, to repost it, because that is how it gets connected to other people. And people need this information. They need real solutions for health. I talk to them every day. I talk to you every day. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind how predatory the allopathic model is and how they prey upon people that are just looking to feel better. I just want to feel better. Okay, doc, I'll take this medicine. And then, 7 years later, 5 years later, it ends up being a huge problem for them. I want to prevent that for people. So share this show. You can also visit naturallyinspiredradio.com for any time for a full list of where we're featured online and on radio. We're so glad you're here, and we're so grateful you're a part of the Naturally Inspired community. Okay, let's get back to root cause, shall we? Because so he's talking about root cause here. Here's the very definition of root cause. Okay, the root cause is the fundamental source of an issue, the original imbalance or factor that sets off a chain reaction leading to visible symptoms, what I call signals, or outcomes. Okay, so when I hear this talk about IVF, I go, okay, great. We're going to help people because we can't fix everything overnight and we want people to keep having babies. So, okay, I get IVF, but also why? Why is IVF a thing? And why is it now that everybody knows somebody, if they haven't used it themselves, that is needing to use IVF? Why? Let's get to root cause, right? So that's what Bobby's talking about there. Here's another clip from the conference or from the press conference that I want you to hear.
Today, the average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier. And that's bad, but also our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing.
Absolutely. And the culture is so upsetting because the culture pushes young people to not have children, right? Why would you have children? Climate, right? Climate. You shouldn't bring another. This world is so messed up. How could you bring a child into it? That's the culture they have shaped, and we now have young people that they got 2 things going on. Not only are they being, sucked into the algorithm to believe that they shouldn't have children. And I'm not saying everybody should have children. Listen, if you've listened to me long enough, I'm all about freedom. So yeah, if you don't want to have kids, awesome. Don't have them. Please do not have them if you don't want them. Absolutely. But to go on a campaign that's anti-baby blows my mind, because having children fills a gap in your heart that you didn't even know was a gap. So living without children, you're just going along in life. Okay, cool. You're basically operating from, meeting your own needs and wanting things for yourself. And you think you're doing great. And you're like, oh, I'm pretty happy, and then something starts tapping on your shoulder, and it's biology. I'll just say that. It's biology. You have a biology that wants you to perpetuate the human race. And when maybe you don't have that signal kick on, fine, don't have a baby. But most people have it. Jennifer Aniston's having it at 56. So you get that little tap and you go, oh, okay, maybe have a baby. Yeah, I'd like to, oh, look at how cute, right? But there is nothing that can prepare you for this baby that fills a gap that you didn't even know you had. When you have a child, it's like, oh, I had no idea what I was missing. It all kind of comes together. So fine if you don't want to have children, but to go on an active campaign to cheat people, to gaslight them, to mentally condition them to skip out on this part of life is demonic. There's no other reason for it. There is no other reason that you can turn to explain how someone could convince you because of circumstances in the world that you should not fulfill your innate biological need. Bizarre that we're even talking about this. But this is a truth. This is a culture. And why would they be doing this? Well, I think a lot of reasons. The death cult, they want to synthesize life to the point where nobody ever dies. And when you say, well, that's ridiculous. How could they cure death? Oh, but they are trying. And the way they think they're going to cure death is by, we're not going to be the same species of biology as a human being as you and I know it today. Their cure for death involves the merger between technology and man. That's their cure for death. Also, virtual reality is their cure for death, which people are already getting sucked into. People are already getting sucked into because you know what? The devil will weaponize your ego. And if you don't look just a certain way that you wish you looked, oh gosh, I wish my whatever was bigger and my whatever was smaller. There's a way you can achieve that. Welcome to AI. Welcome to filters. Welcome to this fake representation of yourself online. Oh, ego feels so good, doesn't it? Feels so good. Very tempting. I think that's one of the 7 deadly sins, isn't it? A lot of people getting pulled into that. Doesn't seem to matter what side of the aisle you're on. A lot of people getting pulled into that. I can be somebody else online. And some people will argue because their egos are so strong. My ego, what? No, this is me. It's just a better version of me. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? If everybody's showing up online in perfection, everybody's got just the right lips and just the right eyebrows and just the right physique. And, man, it's going to get boring fast. It's going to get boring fast. I'm already bored of it, you guys. I'm already bored of the big lips. I was joking with my daughter and I were on FaceTime yesterday while I was trying to make dinner. And we were chatting back and forth. And I can't remember how we started talking about it. I was talking about something. And I said, I am bringing back thin lips. I'm sick of the puffy lips. And one of her roommates heard me. And she goes, yeah, I'm bringing back, because she's got a thinner top lip like mine. She's like, yeah, let's bring back the thin lips. It's like, yeah, let's bring back the thin lips. Who cares? Like, everybody's got the big lips now. I'm bringing back the thin lips. Yep, I'm bringing them back. Like, have the courage to be yourself. Have the courage to be yourself. And, I'm not one that sits here and, buys into like, oh, don't wear any makeup, be real, be real. But like, I'm a girl. So I actually like makeup. It's like, it's fun for me to change the way I look with, application of makeup. But like, I'm not changing my biology here. I'm not putting stuff out there that isn't truly me. And I think that's just a dangerous space to be in when we are augmenting ourselves, and that somehow quantifies our value. Mentally, I don't think it's okay. I see it all the time now. People are generating videos of themselves doing things that, guys, I happen to know that you don't do that. And then in the comments, they're like accepting accolades for that. It's not mentally healthy. You are enough. You are more than enough. And you know what? Nobody expects perfection. Let's talk about root cause a little bit more when we come back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. And I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know our favorite cellular reset helps neutralize over 1 trillion free radicals every day? Protecting your cells from oxidative stress and accelerated aging. Karen from Montana shared this with me. I used to feel drained all the time. Now I have energy through the evening, my mood is better, and my skin has that healthy glow again. I'll never go without it. That's how I feel too. Karen. You can try it today, and you get a free membership when you do, which means you get 15% discount on all of our product line. And we always have a money back guarantee, meaning if you don't like the product, you can return it for a full refund. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset, naturallyinspiredstore.com/reset. You can text me if you have questions, 720-303-8868. Let me clarify what I'm talking about here. I'm going back to root cause because we have a root cause problem when it comes to acceptance and self-respect and self-confidence. And I think when social media was born, I feel like somebody dumped lighter fluid on it and it just exploded. Because we started comparing ourselves, and social media is a constant highlight reel. Nobody puts stuff on social media they're ashamed of, that they don't like the way they look, unless they're trying to create vulnerability through branding. And that's what I was going to talk about with, I'm not one that believes that you need to set the camera up and cry your face off and let your makeup run down your face and your eyes all puffy and stuff. I think we need to bring back intimacy, real intimacy. Those moments I don't feel like it's healthy that we're sharing those moments on social media platforms. I think everybody needs to, social media is, it's like your storefront, so you use it for business. Most people use it for business, and you use it for something productive, a message that you want to spread or whatever. But I think it's gotten to a point where it's mental illness, right? If you're setting a camera up and then, taking yourself through a script that makes you cry, I think you might have some intimacy problems, because that's a very intimate moment that should only be shared with somebody that is close to you that can support you through that. And so the root cause of the problem here is that we don't feel like we're good enough on our own, in our own skin anymore. And that's a tragedy, because it's the devil's trick to make you feel like you're not good enough because God made you. And that's how great a trick is that to make, your enemy. So devil's God's enemy, right? To make your enemy the very thing that you created to make that feel like it's not good enough. And that's us. So it's actually disrespectful to God to not see the beauty in yourself, no matter what. Right? And the standard that we're holding ourselves to, turns out that's BS too. Everybody's got a filter on and all these other bells and whistles. There's very few people that show up authentically on social media. I'm not saying there aren't any. There are some, and I love those accounts. I love those accounts where they're just themselves, but they're also trying to promote their business and stuff. I love that, but they're few and far between, and they don't have very many followers. because the algorithm likes BS. It just does. And it's pay to play, So there's a lot of things going on there to trick your brain that you're not good enough. And that's root cause. That's the root cause of us getting sucked in to the algorithm and our consciousness stolen from the algorithms. Fertility is a problem. They talked about it here. Fertility is a problem with microplastics. We have endocrine disruptors, and you think, oh well, a little bit of endocrine disruptors, that can possibly be the problem. Whoa. Let me tell you where endocrine disruptors are. They're freaking everywhere. They're in your clothes. They're in your laundry detergent. They're in your fabric softener. They're in your perfume. They're in your cologne. They're in your shampoo. They're in your underwear. They're in your aluminum cans. They're in your coffee cups. They're in your water bottles, your plastic water bottles. They're freaking everywhere. So if you think, a little bit of microplastics, that can't possibly be disruptive. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. They even have food grade microplastics that they're permitted to put into your food. So they're a problem. The way they get away with that is each product is individually tested. It's like, you're allowed so many microplastics per million, per whatever volume. So it's okay. Approved by the FDA. But what they don't look at is the collective sea of endocrine disruptors that are in the marketplace that we use as Americans, just living the standard American life. So we have fertility problems. That's just one thing. Just endocrine disruptors, right? Microplastics, phthalates, chemicals. It's just one thing, okay? We have things like ADHD. Well, now we know things like Tylenol and things that disrupt your glutathione production in your liver, they and your detox pathways, that gets expressed in things like anxiety, ADHD. But instead of getting to the root cause of eliminating what needs to be eliminated, we medicate it and we put on more toxicity in the body. Isn't that crazy? Blood pressure, same type of thing, right? We know what root cause is. It's glycation, right? It's too much sugar. It's clots. It's sticky blood that's causing this issue. And yet we medicate it. We don't take the sugar out of it. Why? We can't do that. Sugar's everywhere. Carbohydrates are recommended 6-7 servings a day on the food pyramid. We can't take that out. It must be your genes. Early puberty, another problem. Root cause, lots of different things, right? Microplastics, endocrine disruptors, obesity, a lot of issues there. Let's just take another one, like divorce. What's the root cause of divorce, do you think? What is socially happening that we have such a high rate of divorce? We're living outside of the natural way we're supposed to live. And so, of course, we're going to have dysfunction. And the pharmaceutical application in not all cases, but in certainly some cases, birth control, starting on birth control at 11 or 12 years old, which many children are now because they get their periods too early. And then what do you do with like a 9-year-old or an 11-year-old that has a period? Well, you make it go away. And that's what birth control does. And so they put people on birth control. They put children, young girls on birth control. And what happens is that actually changes her brain. It changes who she's attracted to. Because when your body thinks it's pregnant, it is attracted to security and safety, versus when your body knows it's not pregnant, it's attracted to adventure and excitement. And so what happens is a lot of times these young women end up marrying the wrong person because they're actually not a safety and security person. They're more of a, I'm bored, I like adventure type of person. Drugs alter your state. period. They alter your state. And you can count the ways that they do. Sometimes you need it to alter your state and you don't have a choice. All I'm saying here is we need informed consent on these things so that you can factor that in. Like, hey, I'm on birth control. That means I'm going to think a little differently. I wonder if this is impacting who I'm choosing as a partner, because these relationships are going to pot all the time. Why? Something to toxic exposure. We got things being sprayed in the air. We got things being injected into the body. We got pills that we're taking. We got food that we're eating that's toxic. I mean, toxic exposure is root cause. Let's work on the toxic exposure. Neurological disorders, okay? We had a huge lie told to us during diet culture. Diet culture said fat-free, low calorie. Just monitor your calories and then you'll lose weight. That's how you stay healthy, is through willpower. Lie. No. Fat-free, we now know the brain needs fat. It needs fat. And when we eliminate fat, we get a lot of neurological issues. We're on the cusp of that. We're going to start seeing them talk more about Alzheimer's and dementia in terms of healthy fat. So all of these things, right? Let's get down to the root cause. So if you're listening to this today, when you start to get whispers from your body, things like, inflammation that you notice, maybe you have skin rashes or problems with your skin, if you have gastrointestinal issues, heartburn, indigestion, you start feeling things in your body. Let those now be known as communication and a whisper coming from your body. It's a whisper, because we need to respond when it's a whisper so that it doesn't get to a scream. And so stop interpreting the whisper as no big deal. It's not something to be silenced. It's something to be understood. And so we work at it. We might not figure it out right away. Sometimes the body's tricky, right? And we got to take time to kind of be a bit of a detective. But you never stop searching, because everything that's coming from your body is a communication. When you're not in homeostasis, and this goes for mental health too, I believe mental health is a metabolic disease. You're struggling with depression, you're just struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with some of these issues. There are some researchers, I'm not saying this is not me, but you can read Brain Energy if you like. That's a really good book. There are some researchers that believe even schizophrenia can go away with proper diet. It's not me saying it. But some people say it. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. We're going to be back. I got a lot of news stories. And of course, up next, your Naturally Inspired moment. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Chronic inflammation is at the root of nearly every modern health problem, from fatigue to joint pain. The good news, you can reverse it naturally. I truly know this. Hannah from Washington said, I was constantly achy and exhausted until I started working with Tammy. She taught me how to calm inflammation naturally, and the difference has been life-changing. My energy is back, my skin is glowing, and I feel hopeful again. You can try it today. Get a 90-day plan, priority access to my text line, and VIP access to weekly wellness workshops. Schedule your free health and lifestyle assessment at naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. Okay, for today's Naturally Inspired Moment, it's probably my favorite. I love doing this. For today's Naturally Inspired Moment, I want to talk about how to go against the grain and thrive. Let me tell you, I'm an expert at this. I don't want to be, but I am, because I have to do it all the time, and I've had to do it, especially since 2020, right? 2020 was a game changer with COVID. I've always kind of been gone against the grain, you know. I've always been one that's like, hey, I don't want to join your group. It's weird, and I'll do my own thing. So I'm used to that, but I wasn't used to doing it publicly. And so I've gained a lot of knowledge about this, and I've had to really turn inward and rely on my faith in order to do what I do, because it is so against the grain. So today I want to teach you a little bit just about what I've learned, okay? To ground yourself in the face of going against the grain, because it's not easy. It's not easy. So number one, ground yourself in knowledge. When you've done your homework, you're not just disagreeing, you are informing. So you read, you research, you cross-check your sources. And like say if you're going into your doctor, right? This is tough to go against the grain with your doctor. So like when your doctor suggests a protocol that doesn't align with your philosophy, you can calmly say, I've researched other approaches that resonate with me. Can we explore those options? And you go in armed. And the great thing is today, you have access to all this information. Like a decade and a half ago when I was in this by myself, pretty much, you know, you could Google things, but you didn't even know really what to ask for and where to find it. Now you can find anything, you know, so it's fantastic. So you know, don't be afraid to print things off or pull things up on your phone and say, hey, I have this information. This is how I understand it. Is this right? You know, because I've researched other approaches that resonate with me. Can we explore these options? Knowledge keeps your confidence high and your emotions grounded. Always when you feel your emotions starting to rise up, you got to go back to data. Go back to the left side of your brain, right? Your right side is your emotions. Your left side is the data. So whenever you feel your emotions, because your health is personal. And so if you feel attacked around your health or whatever, you're going to take it personally, and that's going to trigger emotions. So if you feel that, if you feel like emotions are rising, go back to data, right? You cite data, because that's bringing it back to the left side of the brain. Number two, lead with respect, not resistance. So, you know, doctors are trained in a system that emphasizes pharmaceuticals. It's what they know. Okay? They don't really know anything else. Starting to now, I think, because the patients that are coming through their office are demanding that of doctors. So they're starting to branch out, but they're starting from scratch. They get very little nutritional training. They get very little supplemental training about vitamins, minerals, things of that nature. They get very little training on that. Any training they're getting after medical school, they've got to pay for out of pocket, right? And so it's usually the stuff that's paid for by the pharmaceutical companies that they can count for professional credits. It's not diet related usually. unless they're a special kind of doctor, which there are some out there, and I know some of them. I hate to put everybody in the same category, and I hope if you're a doctor, because I know a lot of doctors listen and a lot of people in medicine listen to the show, I hope you realize I'm not talking about you. I know you're fighting the good fight and trying to work, and help people. So you're excluded. I'm talking about mainstream people here. So lead with respect, not resistance. They're not trained in prevention. They're not trained in prevention and lifestyle. So meet them where they are, but stand firm in what you know about your own body, because you know best. So I appreciate here's just a line that you can use. I appreciate your expertise. I'd like to approach this naturally first. Then you're going to get, what's naturally? Naturally means without synthetic pharmakia. That's what it means. Respect opens the door for collaboration instead of confrontation, So I know I'm looking for your expertise, right? Build a bridge. Don't build a wall. You need help getting off of medications. You can't come off them by yourself. You need to be monitored. You need to work with somebody. I do not give medical advice. I would never tell anybody to get off their own medication. You have to take personal responsibility for your choices. And it's tough. It's much easier to do when you work with a doctor who understands the medication. And so there's nothing wrong with asking for that, though. Nothing wrong with asking for that. I want off this medication. Can we lower the dose? How can we get off this? I read this. I read that. What about this? Hey, maybe we could do this together. Wouldn't it be great if you got all your patients off? Maybe I can be your guinea pig. Build a bridge, however which way you can. Know your non-negotiables. So define what you will and won't do for your health. Define that. Know that. Because that's your belief and your value system. And what happens to people is they often feel so pressured, they get away from their beliefs and values because they feel so pressured and they feel like, well, I don't know what else to do. I don't have any other options. And then regret sets in. And that's a terrible place to be, right? And regret and I should have done this or I should have done that. So make a list of your beliefs and your values. A lot of women do this with their birth plan. They're like, I don't want to have drugs during birth. And so they build a birth plan of what they want, what their expectation is. These are my values. And unless something goes completely sideways, right? And it's a matter of life and death, I'm doing this. And so we have to do that for ourselves. Define what you will and won't do for your health. For example, I don't take synthetic hormones, or I focus on nutrition and detox before medication. When you're clear on your principles, you won't get swept into decisions that you'll regret later. Number 4, build a tribe of like-minded people. This will help so much. Thriving against the grain is easier when you're not alone. Surround yourself with others who share your values, like your naturally inspired community, health-minded practitioners, local farmers, friends who live consciously. Their support reinforces your courage to stay the course. So you're out there in no man's land all by yourself, and nobody else is sharing your values. Nobody else is reinforcing the things that you know to be true. You're vulnerable to gaslighting. You're vulnerable to, accepting solutions, even though you don't want to accept that. So important to be in a group of like-minded people. Not solely, of course, because we can get in echo chambers too, but that's a different topic. Number 5, and I cannot stress this enough, trust your inner wisdom. Trust your inner wisdom. There's a reason why you stumbled across this show. There's a reason why some of the things I'm saying every day might resonate with you. Or there's a reason why when you're out, you keep getting attracted to the same things. Or you have the same thought over again, like maybe this is inflammation. But nobody, you keep going back to the doctor and the doctor never says inflammation. So you're like, well, he didn't say that. But yet you inside are like, I have inflammation. I know this is inflammation, but it's not being reaffirmed in the places that you're conditioned for it to be reaffirmed. You know best. I always ask people, what do you think? How do you feel like? Like, what do you feel like? What do you feel like's going on? I learned this in a very real way when my daughter was born premature, significantly premature. And, she needed emergency medicine, and I'm thank God she got it, and we were in the right place to get emergency medicine. So she got emergency medicine, but she did have to be intubated. And, when they told me that they were going to intubate her, I was like, okay, she needs it. She needs it. But I think she needed it for like maybe 24 hours, because after 24 hours, every time I looked at her, I wanted to pull that thing out. And fortunately, we had a great emergency doctor who was a pediatrician, and he asked me point blank, how do you feel about that? Do you think she's ready to have the tube out? And I said, yes, I feel like I want to pull it out. I feel like she's struggling with it. And lo and behold, he took it out based on my recommendation. And we were off to the races after that, meaning she started turning around right away. So sometimes you need an emergency intervention to be life-saving, but there's a line as to like when it turns into an actual a problem, that the intervention starts to become the problem. You know what I mean? Because the body's always trying to get back into homeostasis. That's all it knows how to do is let's regulate this thing. Let's get it back. Let's get it back. And sometimes the interventions, we can hang on to them too long, and then they actually become problematic. So something to consider, trust your inner wisdom. If you're feeling like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this is, listen, go back to the doctor and advocate for yourself. One of the best ways you can do that too is if you're on a medication, you can use chat. You can use chat or go to the drugs.com website and look up all the side effects. And you can just look, I have this one, I have that one, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one. Take that list in and say, I have all these side effects. I need to get off this medication. And they're going to tell you, well, let's switch you to a different one. That's what they're going to do, because that's what they're trained to do. Oh, you're starting to have side effects from this? Let's switch you to a different one. That's kicking the can down the road again. You go, oh, no. Actually, I want to get off, like permanently. So could we start to get off this? Can you help me get off this medication? And any reasonable person, if you're showing all the side effects from it, any reasonable person is going to say, okay, what have you got in mind? And then you say, well, I'm on beta blockers and I'm low in CoQ10 because I have beta blockers, which is the side effect of beta blockers is getting low in CoQ10. What do you need for heart health? CoQ10. It's just, it's just a little bit of information that you need to take in. The more you practice listening to your intuition, the more natural it becomes, and you won't allow anybody to pull you from it. That's where I'm at. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to wake people up. Stay tuned for the second hour of Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. This is hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. In the first hour, we always talk about something that's kind of culture shaping in the first hour, the topic of the day, the thing that I'm noticing that's shaping culture, because that's kind of what we're all in a war here. You know, AI, billionaires are trying to shape culture. Media outlets are trying to shape culture. You know, these billionaires elsewhere, you know, everybody's trying to shape culture because they're trying to herd cats. You know, they're trying to get everybody to do the thing they want them to do so they can have the best outcome for their product line. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. That's what it is on a super scale. Anyway, we've been talking about that and what influences us and what root cause is, because when we acknowledge root cause, we won't be so susceptible to the way of the medical model. And so it's just, you know, it's really getting back to basics. I feel like we all know this intuitively, because when I have discussions with people, a lot of them say, man, I just want to get back to basics. Like there's just too much clutter. There's too much BS. There's too much, we've made it too complicated. These are statements that people say to me all the time. That's your intuition. That's your intuition. Wanting to just, gosh, I just want to get back to what's real. I want to get back to basics. Like your intuition is telling you what needs to happen. You're just not really sure, I think, how to get back there. And so I always say, like, you're just remembering. You remember. That call is to remember who you were and who you are. So anyway, it's been an interesting week, that's for sure. But I do want to say a special thank you to our new customers. We have Liam, Emma, Oliver, Charlotte, James, Sophie, Elijah, Ronald, and William. Welcome to the Naturally Inspired community. We're so glad you're here, and we're excited to work with you and for you to be a part of the community. I want to remind you to enter to win. Today, we're going to make an announcement of a winner. So stay probably in the next segment or so. We'll make that announcement because every week we give away product here on the Naturally Inspired show. Every Friday, we draw very, very, very scientific, complex system we have here. It's the algorithm we've developed. It's where we pull all your names from your entries online and we write them on a piece of paper and we stick them in this thing that we have upstairs, this pot, and I pull one out. It's very scientific. But that's the way we do it. And we draw somebody's name and then we announce the name. So Jason has the name, and we'll read it, and then we'll reach out to you so that you can claim your prize. You have to claim your prize so we can make sure we have the right address and all that stuff. And we design the products for you. So we need to know, what's your biggest health concern? And we align with that. So make sure you enter to win. And we'll be announcing that later in the show. So thank you for all of you that have entered. And thank you for all of you that have. Last night I was on the Red Pill Project, and many of you decided to schedule an assessment with me. I'm super excited to meet with you. I'll warn you that sometimes they go a little long. So don't, it may go a little long. That's all I'm going to say. But I love hearing your stories, and I love helping you put together the pieces to understand what's happened. And that's what happens during the assessment. So be prepared for that. Might go a little long. I try to stay on time. Not so great at staying on time. I'm very passionate about this stuff, as if you can't tell. And I want to make sure that you get the information that you need to feel confident in moving forward in the right way. So it does take some time. But so I'm really excited. I can't wait to meet with a lot of you from the Red Pill Project. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to make a lot of progress together. So very excited. If you would like to book your assessment, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. Come join us. Come join us. You're welcome here. All right. I got some moving on. Okay. We've been talking a lot about digital currency this week because, oh boy, it's coming fast with the carbon system and the I've got an idea of how I'm pretty sure they're going to put this thing together of the digital currency. It's not just digital banking. Okay. It's not just digital banking, people. This is a whole new kind of currency, and it's changing fast. So I pulled a couple clips from a podcast that I've seen recently, and it explains a little bit more about how they are going to implement some of this stuff. So let's go to, I'm just checking here which clip it is that I have. I want to make sure I get it right. Oh yeah, this is about the new monetary system. So let's go to that. This is Peter Diamandis's podcast, Moonshot, on a new monetary system. This is from the horse's mouth, you guys. These are the people who are pushing this forward. Take a listen.
We all think about the Chinese government as a centrally run government that can just tell people what to do and they'll do it. But in fact, it's not the case. It's not the case. And that product got launched in 2020. It got launched over 2 years ago, and no one uses it. Like, no one wants to use it. And it's interesting. No one wants to use it. They made every payment app, every bank, everyone had to have ECNY. Why? Why didn't people use it? It's because, in my view, people want the most innovative product. People want to use the thing that has the most utility for them. And guess what? Alipay and WeChat Pay just have more utility. It's like, this is like, and it's private sector innovation. Like, I can walk into a store and I can go up to the counter and they can say, do you want to buy this? And yeah, I want to buy this. And it voice authenticates me and I walk out. And that's like a feature of Alipay and WeChat. Okay. Is that a feature that the central government's going to build? Private sector innovation, technology and software innovation is all, you may have government funding, et cetera, but it's like fundamentally entrepreneurship. It's why, we're sitting here on Moonshots, right? Entrepreneurship is so key. And I think even in a place where the government can say, you have to have this, you have to support this, people didn't want to use it. And so what's actually happened is this has become somewhat of a spiritual, philosophical, maybe not spiritual, philosophical debate.
Okay. Listening to this, guys, just kills me because they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you their agenda. And these guys are all on board and invested in this agenda. So I like how he says it's an oxymoron. It's private sector, Chinese private sector. Excuse me, but if you have a company in China, you have to register with the government. Like, the government regulates everything there. Okay? So it isn't private sector in China. Give me a break. So he's trying to tell you, like, I listen to this podcast. These people are selling you communism. And they're trying to amp it up like it's just innovation. Everybody wants convenience. Of course you do. They know that's how they're going to sell this to you. And I think it'll work. If I'm being transparent about what I think it will work. I think we have too many people that are so reliant on convenience and, it's terrifying. But like, I saw a video this morning when I was preparing for the show, and it's a lady who's talking about, she realized that some people that she knows have no inner monologue anymore. So she is around my age, my guess. And she's talking about, she was having a conversation with someone younger, much younger than her. And she described inner monologue. And this person was like, yeah, I don't do that. Like, excuse me, what? This person says, I don't. And then there's actually a story about this. I covered it, I think, a year or so ago, about how people are having less inner dialogue with themselves because, well, quite honestly, you don't have any time. People are spending 14 hours on the portal, aka phone, in virtual reality. So it makes sense to me, like, maybe your inner dialogue you're losing it. So, people want convenience. And he's right when he says, people want utility. They use WeChat. That's all tied into social credit score. Jump through this hoop, jump through that hoop. Well, I like to follow rules. Oh, do you? This is what young people say. I remember, when COVID was happening and the mask thing rolled out, and, of course I have two brain cells to rub together. So I was like, masking, like I looked at it and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This doesn't do anything. We'd be better off nose washing. We'd be better off taking vitamin D, getting outside. Like, we would be and that's when I knew the mask was probably the first pillar that fell for me, where I was like, oh my gosh, this is another lie. And, I remember being in a group of young people and I was the only one not wearing a mask. And, one of the kids said, yeah, I could never, I'm just a rule follower. I just have to follow the rules. So I would never be able to have a mom that didn't follow the rules. And I thought, holy crap, how far have we come? Because the way I grew up was like rules schmools, like, what can we get away with here? To a certain extent, right? To a certain extent. But that's how Gen X was raised. Like, rules schmools, like, how can we bend the rules? How can we bend the rules? How can we have a little fun? And, that seems to me like natural child behavior, right? To push the limits instinctually, like push the limits, see how far I can get away with. You got your little gang going. Maybe you're, selling candies off market or whatever. Like that to me that's Gen X, right? That's how we grew up, kind of like bending the rules a little bit. Not crazy, but bending the rules a little bit. Pushing our limits, seeing what we're capable of. And I see that gone in the younger generation. I see it's gone. And so I do think people will adopt convenience pretty quickly. And I don't think they will know what hit them until their particular issue pops up in the system that they don't like. Right? First they came from the union workers, that whole thing. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know that liquid collagen can improve joint flexibility by up to 30% and reduce exercise-related pain within 6 weeks? Melissa from Utah told us, I couldn't kneel without discomfort for years. Tammy suggested adding liquid collagen to my daily routine, and within a month, I noticed the difference. My knees felt stronger, and I can garden again without pain. It's truly changed my life. You need collagen. We start losing it in our 20s, 1% a year, and it just escalates, especially for women when we start dealing with sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle mass, and perimenopause and menopause. Get a free membership when you purchase collagen, 15% discount off of retail and a money-back guarantee on all of our products. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen. If you have questions about collagen, how it might work for you, or if it might work for you, text me 720-303-8868. It's really me on the text line. It's not a chat bot. It's not anything else. It's me. It's just me out here working for the betterment of health in this country. So you can text me 720-303-8868. Okay, so another clip from this podcast, okay? These are billionaires that are controlling the course here. And they call it private sector. But if you listen to this whole podcast, they reveal several times that the private sector gets government funding. And I don't know about you, but I don't know how you continue to call yourself private company when you're taking government funding. That's a real interesting way to call yourself a private company. I don't get any public funding, And I know a whole lot of business owners, the mechanic down the road, pretty sure he doesn't get any public funding. Oh, because we're doing greater good for the greater good. I don't know if I want that, Did we vote on that? Because I don't think we did. We didn't vote on, everybody thinks AI is so fantastic. And I do. I think it's a great tool. I love it for what it's going to be used for good, for sure. But we have not even been permitted to have a conversation about how this is going to change life. No, because we can't even have a discussion around regulation because regulation will slow it down and we got to be first. So be very careful of these guys. They paint things in a way like it's going to save the world and there'll be no consequences to it. Everything has consequences. They're just not talking about them. And in this podcast, I'll tell you what, they're selling communism. They are selling communism, people. One thing, you don't want to do something or whatever, you're going to be extorted into doing it. You're going to be blackmailed into doing it. Otherwise, you're not going to have any access to money. And is it money even anymore? It's currency. But I think it's currency that's going to be based off of a whole different energy source. And that's going to be tied to your carbon footprint. It's going to be tied to your social footprint. Very easy to get kicked out of the system. So they explain a little more here. Here's the second clip.
It is a debate between the government being in your pocketbook directly and having direct access to your money and your behavior and the choices you make directly. Like I'm like piped right into the government's database. Or is there an air gap between me and the government? And today, like 97% or so of the financial transactions we have are intermediated by private third-party intermediaries. That is the way it works today. And if you go back over, say, even 75 years in the West, in the liberal market order, like every major technology innovation and money has come from the private sector. That was like checks and check clearing and ATMs and credit cards and debit cards, and then like PayPal and then Apple Pay and then stable coins. And like all this innovation comes from, many times consortiums of actors getting together and saying, hey, we're going to build this new technical utility and we're going to agree on it and people are going to use it. And so I think in the United States, there's hostility. There's just outright hostility to this concept that the government's going to build all this for us. And so, I think the Trump administration essentially banned it. So there's like nothing going on here. In Europe, the central bank is pushing forward with a digital euro project, but the banks are very resistant to it.
Which gangster do you want? Do you want the Federal Reserve gangsters of the old, or do you want the new billionaire tech gangsters? This idea of the fact that, we're providing a buffer between you and the government. Just stop. Okay. We've all lived through COVID. Okay. And we know that when the Canadian truckers, when we donated to them, the government got involved in Canada pretty quick, didn't they? And I guess the government got involved in social media as well during COVID, because I know my account got taken down and many other people's did. That was shut. Just shut it. No, nobody buys this anymore. Nobody buys this anymore. We know exactly what you're doing. You're taking money from the government, which they admit in this podcast, right? Get government funding. So if you're taking money from the government, you're going to do what the government says, or you're not going to get money from the government. And you may even get hauled off to jail, which is, I think, what was happening to Telegram's CEO, right? He didn't take money from the government. They want you to take their money. They're pushing their money on these outlets. That was revealed recently through Charlie Kirk's organization as well. He claimed he called for an audit on TPUSA because they would receive money wire transfers without being notified about them. Because once you take the money, people, it's over. And that's precisely what's happening here. So this is communism, if you want the government involved in your money and regulating, you got to do this or you don't get paid. You got to do this. I mean, we've seen it now. Like, have you not seen the taste of it? You have doctors who got their credit cards shut off. We had, platforms that would not process our payments. Other people, you heard that widespread, not even just with health, but with politics. We had GoFundMe, right? GoFundMe would not. Their very function is to fundraise for people. They take a small percentage. That's their business, rightfully so. Got it. And then they give the rest of the money to the person that is fundraising. No, they wouldn't do that. If your cause isn't okay with GoFundMe, then you don't get to use GoFundMe. Who do you think's putting the pressure on that? Like, insanity. And yes, of course, the UK is implementing this because they have it's so obvious. They create this massive influx of migrants that are not conducive with the UK culture to create chaos. And then they say, oh, it's a safety issue. You're going to need digital ID in order to buy a beer. You're going to need a digital ID in order to work in the UK. And oh, by the way, digital currency too. Oh, but that's not tied over here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's all the same platform. It's all the same platform. All they're doing is washing it with a different label on the outside. So the perception is that these are different platforms. It's all the same people producing it. Don't kid yourself. It's just fascinating. Speaking of washing, the carbon cult, climate cult, which is a campaign. This is an advertising campaign. Climate change is an advertising campaign. Can we all just say that? Climate change is an advertising campaign. They're advertising to roll out products to solve the problem of climate change. So your fake meat, that's supported by the umbrella of climate change. The fact that they don't want you to have animals like cows and even dogs eventually, all supported by the campaign of climate change. The fact that you shouldn't travel, you shouldn't use a car, all supported by the campaign of climate change. Of course, they've got the solution for you because we're going to have autonomous vehicles. You'll be able to rent a vehicle, people. You'll be able to share it with your neighbor. It's called rideshare. Lower your carbon footprint while the billionaires travel around on private jets. Everybody needs an ad campaign. It just so happens that all of their products and services and things that they want to roll out as solutions for climate change, it all goes in the same agenda, right? The sustainable goals, the UN, everybody's on board. Everybody's on board. Everybody wants their piece of the pie. I'm going to show you some more products here. I think these are from the UK. And if you take a look at this image here, you'll see the carbon, it's all carbon rated. And I just want to talk a little bit about these foods, right? Oatly. Yeah. You can get Oatly, you guys. It's only 0.37 percentage of a climate credit, right? Oh, that's terrible for your health, though. I'll tell you that right now. A lot of seed oils and things of that nature come in. I don't know. I haven't looked at the ingredients of Oatly, so I'm not directly tying this to Oatly. But there are First of all, nuts don't produce milk. There's no such thing as nut milk, okay? This is nut juice because they squeeze a bunch of nuts, turn it into water, and then they add some stuff to it to make it look white and to make it come out like it looks like resemblance of milk so that when you pour it, you're like, oh, this is milk. It ain't milk. Milk comes from mammals. That's not milk. That's something else. And turns out that you actually need less carbohydrates in your diet. You need less additives and ingredients like seed oils and inflammatory ingredients. All of this stuff, fake food, that's all fake food. And look how low the carbon is. I showed you a sandwich yesterday with some meat in it that was 8 carbon credits. You see where this is going? Who owns stock in that stuff? We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Maybe you're listening today and you're like, I buy wellness products, but I don't really need to do an assessment. I've got my health under control, but I don't really need to do an assessment. But I do buy health products, and I want to support this message. And you can get all the things that you are getting in these big box stores and from other companies that may not even deserve your business. Maybe you're currently shopping from our adversaries. Maybe. And if you are, I would kindly ask you to take a look at Naturally Inspired's line of products. I've got 2 of my favorite products are the Vivix Cellular Reset, which is polyphenols. It's plants. It's dense. It's wonderful for inflammation. And the other one is my liquid collagen, which I don't want to go without either of these 2 products anymore. They're my favorites. Everybody needs collagen. If you're over the age of 25, you need collagen. The scaffolding in your body is called fascia, and it naturally dries out over time. That's why when you start to get older and it gets a little harder to get out of bed in the morning or a little harder to move and you're thinking, I'm just getting old. No, you're not. You're lacking collagen. That's what keeps it nice and loosey-goosey and you're able to move. Collagen equals independence through mobility. So everybody needs collagen. Everybody can use less inflammation. Those are my 2 favorite products. Join the Naturally Inspired community. You'll get access to my text line. You'll get access to our weekly wellness workshops. You get 15% off of retail pricing. You get money back guarantee. So you decide, I didn't really like this. I want to try something else. Send it back. They refund you immediately. I love working with this company. Let me tell you, they are focused on customer service. And when I call in about anything, which is very, very rare, but if I have to reach out and get help from this company for anything because of a customer service issue, boom, immediately they're there for me. And just the other day I accidentally ordered something and I meant to pick something else and they weren't able to cancel the order in time. So they just sent out a free product. Who does that? This company does. And that's why I'm partnered with them. So join this movement. Take personal responsibility for your health. Use wellness products. Get into a community that supports you. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com/collagen today. Speaking of washing, so I mentioned washing, like greenwashing, like they're these software programs that they're going to tell you, oh, this is all different. It's all decentralized, guys. It's all decentralized. No, it's not. No, they're data collecting at every turn, you guys. Your car is now a data collection device. Your phone is a data collection device. And everything's going in your little personal bucket, your little personal bit bucket. And that is going to go straight into the digital currency system, which I think will be based off of energy as a whole. They may even commoditize our natural resources like water and the rainforest and national parks. And that's going to become part of our currency. That's all tied into the carbon score. So that's one way they're washing. But let me tell you, there's so much washing going on, greenwashing. I'm calling this pharma washing. And you heard it here first. This is pharma washing. So you know how those pharmaceutical commercials on TV, they aren't doing so well anymore, right? Everybody's on to the fact that news stations are completely funded, almost completely funded to a large extent, 75%, I think it is what I heard, that these, 24-hour news stations and these major networks are funded by pharmaceutical companies. Everybody's onto it. It's a big joke, right? Brought to you by Pfizer, blah, 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 and they tell you all the side effects, right? So the gig is up. So what's happening is we're seeing these pharma corporations pivot to social media. And the way that they're pivoting to social media is a number of ways. They're actually paying influencers to start accounts based around their product. So you'll see somebody who has, I was obese and now I'm on Ozempic. And then she's showing you her progress or his progress through the use of Ozempic. Okay? Paid for by Ozempic, everybody. Okay? But there's also this, so we know about these. We have TikTok accounts that are solely focused on ADHD and solely focused on one chronic illness or another. And then, of course, they're getting funded. Not all of them, maybe, but I bet they're trying. I see people all the time trying to build their followers, and I'm like, where are they going with this? They're going in hopes to get brand deals, and those brand deals also extend to pharmaceutical companies. Okay, this is the new way to market. So we see some of this stuff going on in the social media accounts, but also I've noticed something else, and I want to share this with you because this is all over my Instagram feed. Bring up the first graphic here. This is Kick Health. Kick Health. Okay. And so this is kind of cool. They've got like a cool little logo and, their Instagram is super chic and all of that. But you guys, these are beta blockers. These are beta blockers. And this is what I call pharma washing. So the way they are selling these beta blockers is they're saying, hey, do you have to do a presentation at work this week? Are you nervous? Do you get shaky when we have to public speak? Do you feel sweaty? Is this hurting your career? How would you like to be able to present with no anxiety whatsoever? Awesome. Don't worry. You can get a prescription right here. Just take this brief quiz, meet with our professionals, our experts, and you can have these beta blockers sent right to your door. They're faster acting mints. You just pop them in your mouth. And social anxiety, gone. Presentation anxiety, gone. These are frickin' beta blockers. Let me just read you common side effects of beta blockers, okay? Number 1, fatigue. Fatigue and low energy. Number 2, cold hands and feet. So because you have reduced circulation, reducing your circulation. So these side effects occur because beta blockers slow your heart rate and reduce your blood flow. Does that sound like something you want to mess with? Reducing your blood flow because you're nervous about giving a presentation at work? We have lost our ever-loving minds. Okay? You know what helps with that? Practice. Practice. Good Lord, I had to suffer through it myself because this is not something that comes easy for me to do, a radio show. I was nervous as all get up when I started. And I still get nervous. But I have to lean on my passion for what I do and dig my heels into the fact that I am convicted on spreading this message, and that helps me get through it. That helps me get through it. That's called growth. What these pharmaceutical companies are trying to con you into thinking is that you don't need to go through the pain and the suffering of growth. Just take this magic pill. Do you see how evil that is just at its core? I think there was another scenario where that happened. I think it was in the Garden of Eden, actually. Dizziness and lightheadedness, especially when you stand up. Shortness of breath can impact you negatively too, especially if you have asthma. Slow heartbeat. Sleep disturbances. Digestive upsets like nausea, diarrhea, constipation. Metabolic and hormonal effects. It lowers your blood sugar awareness. So they mask the symptoms of low blood sugar in diabetics. They can cause a weight gain, but it's more that's more common in older beta blockers, the older ones, propanol and metoprolol. It's a tongue twister. They worsen insulin resistance, which that's a big thing. Insulin resistance, we're talking root cause there. And they actually worsen insulin resistance. So you get things like skin tags, you have trouble metabolizing glucose. They also can lower your libido and lead to erectile dysfunction. Neurologically, it can cause depression and mood changes because it reduces norepinephrine activity. Also brain fog and slower thinking, reduced motivation. So you just feel flat. You don't feel motivated to do anything. And serious side effects, very slow heartbeat, less than 50 beats per minute, fainting or severe dizziness, swelling in your legs and feet, shortness of breath that continues to escalate or worsen, sudden fatigue or weakness. These are just side effects. And you guys, they're selling these on Instagram to people who are nervous about giving work presentations. Not only that, you have to go through like a telemedicine call, maybe with some kind of probably LPN, I would assume, and then the doctor signs off. This is a pill mill. Remember Oxycontin when we had pill mills in person? We saw those pill mills in Florida, that had lines around the door because everybody was strung out on Oxy. We have digital pill mills now. Show me the next one. This is another one. So you feel like, beta blocker, it's called Kicks. What's wrong with Kicks? It's like a mint, people. Then you have this one. Hims and hers. Well, that's really creative, Hims and hers. This is affordable GLP-1 drugs. So Ozempic and Wegovy, people, right? But look at the way they're marketing it, right? So this is an Instagram account. Hims and hers. It's perfectly safe in low doses. And you're going to hear that too from a lot of people. It's like, oh, well, the class action lawsuit, that's because people were taking too much. Too much poison or a little bit of poison? Which one do you want? Do you want too much poison? And then you just take a little bit of poison. I don't know. Where I'm from, poison's bad. I don't want to take any poison. And the good news is you don't actually have to take poison to lose weight. No. You have to understand your brain. You have to understand your hormones, your satiety hormone, your hunger hormone, your insulin hormone. You have to understand these. And once you understand them, oh my gosh, not that hard. You certainly don't have to inject yourself with somebody else's product every day, because your body actually knows exactly what to do. We've just been severed from the natural way your body operates. Please don't fall for these. Please don't fall for the pharma washing It's exactly what this is. Pharma washing. And they got them for everything. Stay tuned. Your health tip coming up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. Book your assessment with me today at naturallyinspiredstore.com/assessment. Sit down with me. We'll have a chat. It's not a bot. It's not a any kind of, impersonal thing. It's really me. We work together in a community to support people who need our help. So we also have the winner of our weekly wellness draw today. And Jason just texted me and said, he sent me the name that we pulled, and it is Diane Gavin. Diane Gavin is the winner. So Jason will reach out to you to get on the schedule for your free assessment so we can design some appropriate products for you. And it's Diane with a Y. So hopefully I'm saying that Y. Dyanne. Diane Gavin is the winner. So if you didn't win this week, keep entering. We pull names every week. So make sure you go to naturallyinspiredstore.com /win is the right domain there. Or you can just go to the Naturally Inspired store websites right there, or Naturally Inspired Radio. Gosh, so many websites. We've tried so much. Anyway, let's get to our health topic for today. Today, I'm talking about what your tense shoulders, and sometimes we get those, especially a lot of us women, I feel like we get those like knots, you just feel like you've been working like this all day and you get knots in the shoulders, and maybe you get really tense shoulders. And I want to talk about, from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, what that might mean. Because sometimes it's more than just tension. Okay, so tense shoulders and muscle knots are more than just mechanical tension. They can reflect both muscular skeletal imbalances, but also organ stress patterns, especially in traditional Chinese medicine, which I love. I think it's the foundation of understanding for health and holistic systems. So some of the breakdown, it connects to liver and gallbladder. So the physical meaning of knots in your shoulders, neck, upper back, the places I'm talking about. Often these are trigger points. So they're small contracted muscle fibers that restrict blood flow. They form from stress, poor posture, repetitive strain, right? Like being on a keyboard, and lack of movement. But they also respond strongly to emotional tension and toxic buildup. I was talking to somebody this morning and I was mentioning, the body keeps score. It's very real. We are synergistic beings. Our thoughts, our trauma, our pain, if we're not learning how to integrate it and release that energy, it builds up in the tissues. And it's very real. It's not like woo-woo. It's it just is. This is part of being human. So first of all, let's cover the liver and gallbladder connection. Okay. So we have these meridians, which are energy pathways. And in traditional Chinese medicine, the liver and gallbladder meridians run through the neck, shoulders, and the sides of the body. The liver regulates smooth flow of energy. Energy is known as qi in traditional Chinese medicine, and blood, where the gallbladder governs decision-making and courage. When these are stagnant, it can manifest as tight shoulders, okay? It could also get, because of the tension, can turn into headaches. It can turn into irritability and muscle stiffness, especially on the right side of the body. So if you're the one that always gets the knot on the right side there, you should be listening to this, okay? Liver qi stagnation. So energy, liver energy stagnation is often caused by stress, frustration, anger, or toxic overload. The physical side is a tight trapezius muscle, tension, headaches, jaw clenching, stiff neck. Emotional signs, irritability, feeling stuck, poor digestion, and menstrual problems in women, particularly pain. The gallbladder imbalance. So the gallbladder assists in decision-making and moving forward in life. Imbalance can cause indecision, resentment, hesitation, often mirrored in frozen or stiff shoulders. So think of it as like carrying the weight of a decision, carrying the weight of indecision, really. That's what creates the stress. Is the indecision, not knowing what to do, right? That gap between where you are and where you want to be and the not sure how you're going to get there. That's the stress, the gap in between. Okay, so functional and physiological correlates. The liver detoxifies hormones, chemicals, and metabolic waste. If it's overburdened, inflammation and tension can increase systematically. So poor liver or gallbladder function can lead to sluggish bile flow. It can lead to impacting fat digestion and increasing muscle stiffness and soreness, since bile helps eliminate waste. So you're getting a backflow, essentially. And people with the MTHFR, which we've been talking a lot about, mutations, they're usually sluggish with methylation, often experience more muscle tension due to reduced detox efficiency. So that's why it's so important. Everybody should be watching and controlling their exposure to toxicity as much as they can. So like if you are not using good laundry soap that doesn't have a bunch of toxins and phthalates in it, switch that out, right? We have a great one on our product line, Naturally Inspired Store, laundry detergent, kitchen cleaner. Just minimize all your exposure to toxicity, because it ain't doing you no good to be exposed to that stuff. Because like I said before, it's layer upon layer, right? It's everywhere. So here are some supportive strategies. So liver and gallbladder support. Start your day with lemon water. Lemon water, maybe even put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it, right? You want to support yourself with greens like dandelion, arugula, milk thistle, beets, artichokes. I love the Shaklee's liver detox complex. It's wonderful to offer liver support. You can do physical release too. So massage, very important, fascia work, especially on your shoulders. This is how you integrate the stuff, We talk about integrating trauma and releasing it. A lot of people, when they go for things like acupuncture, massage, or any kind of like body work, they'll find themselves being very emotional and they're not even really entirely sure why. You're releasing the emotions from your very fiber in your body. The muscles and stuff in your body is coming out. So those are wonderful. Dry brushing is another way. So this is always, you want to brush away from the organs, right? So in the lymph system area, you always want to brush out. You don't want to brush towards your organs, but you take a stiff, tolerable brush. Doesn't, you don't want to cause irritation on your skin, but a dry brush, and you just work down your arms, pushing away from the heart and the organs. Okay, that's a great way to support that as well. Sauna. We're hearing now. There's a recent study out that because of the toxic load in America, we actually need to implement sauna as a way of life. So you hear of Swedish, the Swedish people using sauna and whatnot. It's like part of their culture, And I think even Jewish people have a practice of schwitzing, and that's also, sweating. We don't really have that here as a staple in America, but we need it. We need it because we're so exposed, and it's supporting your detox pathways. So sauna, and of course hydration. You want to use electrolytes. Listen, a lot of people seem to be experiencing edema. That is, edema in the legs and whatnot. You've got pooling problems, right? You got fluid pooling problems, and so you need to support those detox pathways. You have to support them, get things going. So you need water with electrolytes for the cell to pull in the water and actually hydrate you at a cellular level. You can drink tons of water and you may be doing more harm than you are good if your body's not able to process it and bring it into the cell. It may just be going straight through you. And that can lead to, pooling or inflammation as well, edema rather. So stretch the sides of your ribs and your chest. So this area doesn't get a lot of movement, unless we're really mindful of it. We always turn in. There's a lot of turning in the way we live when we're sitting, we walk with our shoulders rounded or whatever. I want you to start thinking of like turning inside out, right? Of just pushing those shoulders back and opening up this area. Get things moving, in directions that they don't always move. So bending on the side, I always talk about doing squats and side bends and whatnot. Like you're waiting around anyway for your coffee to be made or your tea to boil or, maybe you're cooking and you're waiting for something to finish in the oven. Like move around, when you're a kid, that's all you do. You can't sit still, right? You're hanging off of stuff. You're climbing on stuff. Your parents are like, sit still, stop it, right? But when we get older, we don't do any of that. And we got to bring it back. Like you don't have to be in your workout wear with your tennies on and, to go work out. You can just get some movement in while you're waiting for something. And you should, because it all adds up. It all adds up. Emotional reset. So journaling's a great thing. EFT tapping. We've talked about that before on the show. Tapping, right? You're tapping. Breath work, releasing anger and resentment, forgiveness, letting go of frustrations. When you understand that those things are harming yourself, that you're actually self-punishing, it opens up a whole new perspective. You're not forgiving to forgive someone else. It doesn't release them of their transgressions against you. It releases you. And you got to find it in your emotional capability to forgive yourself. Because you're not helping or punishing yourself in any way that you deserve. So forgiveness, daily movement, walk around, rebound, stretching, get everything moving. Tense shoulders are more than just muscular skeletal imbalances. It can be a sign of organ stress. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you Monday. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, Explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.